Is it really worth working with an agent when you're buying a home? I mean, anybody can find a home online these days. Everything is available on the internet. You can just click and buy, and that's it. And you can even get a look inside any home that you want without signing on with a real estate agent. But unless you have the time to make your home shopping a part-time job, or even sometimes a full-time job, an agent might be able to match you with the perfect property much faster than you can do it yourself. And it's still free to you in the sense that the seller will be paying a commission to a buying agent whether or not you're using one. Because if you're not using a buyer's agent, the listing agent will just get more money. So you might as well take advantage of this free service that you can get. And say, if you want a swimming pool or a fenced-in yard or a basement playroom, not that common here in Florida, but in some states it is, there's a real estate agent has better tools available to them to search for this type of property than you have. As agents, we have access to almost any searchable parameter for a house, whereas when you look on a property website like Zillow, Trulia, or even our own websites, the tools you have at your hand are limited to just a few fields. We have much better tools, and we know before you do when homes become available. And there's also the pricing expertise to take into consideration. We can help you figure out if the house you're looking at actually is priced correctly, if it's overpriced, if it's a good deal. You can do that online yourself, find comparable houses, but we actually have tools available to us that will help us find the right comparable houses, and our experience means that we can also remove the houses from the equation that are actually not as comparable as the system thinks, or we can add houses that the system overlooked because we know what to look for. We do this every day. Another advantage we can bring to the table is we are more experienced than anyone who doesn't buy a home on a regular basis in requesting repairs and making the request in such a way that it's easier for the seller to accept a repair request. We have a pretty good idea of what's a reasonable request and what is a little bit out of what you can expect a seller to reasonably accept as a repair request. So we can make sure you don't lose the deal or don't lose an opportunity to get something fixed that you otherwise could have had fixed. And getting back to finding the right home for you, we also have the ability, at least some of us do, to search for homes that are not yet on the market, that are not widely publicized, or maybe not even available on the market yet. So if we know what you want, we will be able to find your homes before they even hit the market in many cases. And that is a huge advantage for you as a buyer, because if you go in to look at a house before it's even actively listed, then you are the only person looking at it. It's putting you in a much better position to negotiate a good price. Also, buying a house is something that really means there's a lot of paperwork involved, and there are a lot of disclosures that you have to do. There are a lot of addenda that sometimes need to be written. We have the experience in doing that. We're obviously not attorneys or legal advisors, but we know our way around the paperwork in a real estate deal. So we can make sure that you have the proper written offer on the proper written form, that it protects you and the seller in the best possible way. We also come to the table without any emotions in the deal. Whereas, I mean, if I'm buying a house for myself, I know that I have a lot of emotion, because this is not just buying a toothbrush or something else. This is buying my future home, at least for a few years or foreseeable future. So there's a lot of emotions involved. As a third party, emotionally detached advisor in the real estate transaction, we can guide you through and help you understand the transaction without all the emotions involved. And we can also maybe help if there's something that looks like a big problem. We can help you figure out whether it actually is a problem without totally getting emotional about it. We also know a little bit about, we're not building codes or zoning experts by any means, but we do work with this every day, so we have a lot of expertise in, and we are pretty good at spotting if there are some zoning or code issues that at least needs to be looked at by an expert. Obviously, we don't pretend that we can tell you if this property is zoned properly or if it's up to code, because we're not licensed to do that, but we can certainly tell you if it's advisable to hire somebody who is an expert on that. We know the signs to look for. We also experienced in keeping the right records to make sure that we have the right paper trail for the transaction in case something happens later on. If you come back to, if there's an issue later on and you need a copy of anything, well, we will have it on file. We're required by law to have it on file, so you can always come back to us if there's an issue that needs to be addressed at a later place. And one of the things that often kills a real estate deal is if something is not done on time, or something, if something should have been done so you can get out of the deal in time for not losing your escrow deposit. We are experts. We're trained to keep track of the transaction. We make sure that everything happens on time, and we make sure that you know what to do when, so you don't lose the deal because you forget to do something or because you didn't know you had to do something. It's not rocket science to go through a real estate deal, but there are a lot of moving parts, so we do bring a lot to the table. And with all this combined, we will end up saving you a lot of money. And as I said in the beginning of this video, at least the way it is now, you're not directly paying us. To you, it's a free service in the sense that the seller is paying for it anyways, whether or not you're using us. So you might as well take the advantage of having a realtor on your side. Thank you for watching, and comment below if you have any comments. I'm keen to hear it. I'm sure not everybody agrees with what I just said, but I would like to hear your opinion anyway. Thank you so much for watching, and stay in touch.